Okay, guys, so we're back. Kage, it looks like Hog, he's out in the mountain somewhere, you said?
I think he shut himself inside for some reason, and I think the other guy went over to Vegas.
Oh, did he? I heard something about New York, or Circus Circus. He was getting ready to leave after he was having a few drinks or something. So we'll have
Hmm.
to see. Maybe we'll, in the fake book group, maybe he'll post some pictures of that and see about his little trip there. So we got the stock we're going to talk about. This one, there's been some rumblings on this since last Friday, and it's still showing up on the radar on top search stocks on Yahoo. And you saw the percentage rates I sent you. This sucker is up here, and you're getting chatter from StockTwits, and I'm getting chatter from Investors Hub. Looks like we got mixed information. I'll be interested to see your spot from the younger ones, obviously on the twits, and then some of the older ones where that's where they gravitate on Investors Hub. So going on to the first stock we're going to talk about, it's DIDI Global Incorporated. Last tick was $1.87. But before we get into the interesting takes about this, you can see the year-to-date chart. It's steadily flowing. It looks healthy. There is a drop-off right here. Could have been some pump and dump action, things like that, some bad news. And then we have a dump off again. So we go from here to this point where we were at in May, and we're seeing a little pump up. One of the things I saw is there's interesting SEC news that we'll go into. Yahoo had a plug. We'll go and talk about that. Going into, if you're new to this, what would you say they do here? It looks like it was down 14 cents after hours as well. Going into what would you say they do here on this company? They operate a mobility platform that operates ride hailing and other related services. It operates through three business segments: China Mobility, International, and other initiatives. The China Mobility segment consists of ride hailing, taxi hailing, chauffeur, and hitch services. The International segment of ride hailing, food delivery services of international markets outside of China, and other segment mainly close to bike and e-bike sharing and certain auto solutions, intra-city freight, community group buying, autonomous driving, and financial services. The company was founded by Wei Cheng and Qing Liu and Bo Zhang, and Ryu Wu on January 11, 2013, is headquartered in the People's Republic of Beijing, China. So going on to StockTwits, because that's where the real traders are at. What do you got on the twits?
I was looking at the graph earlier on this stock, and it has been on a gradual downturn for the most part. It was up to about $11 in August, and then it slowly, gradually dropped down throughout the year, and then it come January, it stayed a little bit steady for a little bit, but it kept gradually dropping to where it is right now at 2.01. Looking at the twits and everything and what the traders are saying about it, here's a take from Vector Victor. He says, DIDI. Bloomberg running with DIDI shares plunge on SEC investigation reveal. LOL. I mean, you created your own narrative in storytime fiction land. It was on the desk through the close with SEC in the news for hours, and shares never budged until Uber and Lyft came out. The sound bites are BS, but Sophia H has a point. The end of China tech crackdown is in the details. And he says for the stock is bullish.
Would you say, would it be anything of a hot take or anything like that to say that this China lockdown is causing some of this downturn right here with this?
I wouldn't necessarily say the two are not connected in some way.
As far as
I would say, as I say, there's no coincidence in anything.
Yeah, there are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences either. You also have this playing out here, which adds to it. You have from Seeking Alpha, did DIDI Global probed over SEC US IPO. Going into this article, the China ride giant DIDI Global Incorporated disclosed that the U.S. Security Exchange Commission is investigating its IPO last summer. DIDI share fell 2.5% in after hours trading. After the IPO, after it's the IPO, the SEC contacted DIDI and made inquiries in relationships they offering according to the annual report dated May 2nd. DIDI is still cooperating with the investigation as it went public in 4.4 billion IPO last June. Shortly after the IPO, China pulled DIDI's offering off the app stores in China amid a cybersecurity probe of the company's operations. And in December, DIDI said it would move its shares from the New York Stock Exchange to Hong Kong. So where do we go from here? Because we know that the current regime in the United States curries favor with the CCP sometimes, but the CCP has been cooperating with Russia. So maybe they're going to start actually do you think they're not talking tough, or do you think that this is real here? So because I know the U.S. government is not happy about the relationships with Russia right now. So
I think it's just tough talk. I think it's just trying to put on a show of force, even when they're like a scared little mess, basically.
Yeah, I have no faith. I mean, maybe they'll go and do something, but when it comes to anything with over there in the stocks and connected anything with the CCP, I just don't see anything going down with this. You know, obviously value is going to go down, but as far as anything happening, we'll see how it plays out. It said in March, DIDI said it's suspending plans to list its shares on the Hong Kong exchange because it failed to meet the Chinese regulatory requirements regarding data security. Last month, Bloomberg reported that the state of flux after some of the senior officials have delayed potential punishments on the firm that may have put forth for the country's cybersecurity regulator. As you know, Kage, I have a lot of followers. We have a lot of followers on Getter, which a lot of them are the Lao Beijing, the hardworking people of China, of free China, and they very dislike the CCP and all of its dealings and things like that. People don't know a lot about that, but that's something. Just remember, when you are supporting one of these companies, you are dealing with what you're investing in and things like that. So what else you got on the
comes to shove, I bet you dollars to dinars that when the chips are down, people are going to cut their losses.
Yeah, and so I think some of this short manipulation there. So the SEC probe is pulling right there. We have the Yahoo Finance play. What else do you got on the twits there?
How about this take on a Magic 40? He says bullish for the stock. He says, DIDI, very clear manipulation. Stock did not drop in trading season, but after market closed, dirty shorts took advantage of low liquidity and made another attack to shake you off your position. I don't give it a FK if the SEC investigate in the worst case scenario will force the company to buy back shares at IPO price.
That's not a bad take here. I got in on Investors Hub as my screen rolls up here. This take is from Uptick ASAP. He says this stinker is going below $1, delisting coming. So he's coming in hot. He's saying that this thing is getting delisted. They also have the Seeking Alpha probe on there. He brings his receipts. Uptick me ASAP. He talks about the SEC probe. It also says China and U.S. negotiating on an on-site audit check as. Did you see that anywhere pop up on there?
Not that I can see from the stock twits on my end, no.
Okay, this comes from Bloomberg here. It says Beijing's discussing with the American regulators the logistics of allowing an on-site inspection of Chinese companies listed on the New York, according to people familiar with the sign of progress in talks and keeping the U.S. exchange markets open for issues from Asia, the largest economy. Dude, do you any of this first paragraph? Do you find this relevant or whatever? Do you think that they love that the CCP money, dude? I don't see them. I see that as laughable that the regulators are gonna come in hard on that. I don't see them coming in hot. Do you?
Nah, I don't see them coming in hot.
Nobody's
I'm
serious
just
about
waiting
this.
for the devil to really take their souls at
Yeah.
one point or
Yeah.
another.
If you want my take on this, I say that I have no faith in their investigation or any of this. It says regulators on both sides are negotiating a new team, you know, so they came up with a new team, a new team of inspectors on how of the public company's accounting oversight board visit China so they can scrutinize auditing procedures and access the reports of a majority of 261 U.S. listed firms the people said requesting be named because the matter is private. The talks aimed at preserving these listings and reviving fresh public offerings include hammering out issues such as quarantine requirements the people added. And the two countries have yet to they're never going to come to a conclusive agreement. I'm not even going to read the rest of that article. The reason why is because we know where this goes, Kage, with them. What's gonna happen is it's gonna go up to the food chain, and someone in the food chain is just gonna go sweep it off, and because it deals with that, they won't go against the CCP at all because there's too many tangled webs. So, and that's not a hot take.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Tug at the proper series of threads and the entire weave unravels and comes apart.
Yeah. So, I mean, at least it's a start that they're doing doing some investigations and everything, but I just don't see anything coming of it or whatever. DIDI's fate is in limbo. Officials object. Uptick me. He's coming in hot on the boards here. He says, this is a total trash can. So he called it a trash can. What do you got on the twits there on your end?
Here's a take from Definitely Not Calico. He says, China continuing to stay in line. Tech sector attacks have stopped. Delisting issues getting resolved, will not become a rogue state and isolate itself from the global market, which it needs to develop its economy. U.S. relieved as China appears to heed warnings on Russia.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. So
yeah, I don't think he was being serious.
No, he's never serious. They're not gonna take any threats from the West. That China is not scared of freaking. They're just not. They think of the West as the paper tiger. That's just how they feel. They have no respect for any of it right now.
Says the paper dragon telling the paper tiger.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing is you got both there. It looks like Yahoo Finance says DIDI Global Incorporated is the world's leading mobile technology platform. They filed their annual. This is yesterday's news. The Form 20F for the fiscal year December 31st, 2020. That ended December 31st, 2021. The annual report can be accessed to investors relations site. We're not going to go check that out, but you can go check that out there. So that's up for grabs on that. What else do you have on the twits there? I've got, they says the Hong Kong listing could take years. This is from IPO. He didn't bring his receipts on that, but he's calling that out. Let's see what else interesting we have. China to bring down the audit barrier in the long running. And DDI fuel 93 billion rally for the Chinese for Alibaba. What's that? But I don't know if he brought his receipts on this.
I think far as Alibaba is concerned, I mean,
that's a stay away for sure.
It's
a lot of our Congress
the
people like it.
Yeah, I think that's just basically the Amazon of China, basically.
Yeah, except with copyrighted products that they take all the copyrights of other products and manufacture them themselves and copy stuff. So I'm sure I'll get flagged for that, but it's true. So
how about this take from Veritas 28? He says, DD bullish. As if holding them accountable and demanding answers for this shit show is a bad thing. This is the best news yet. Give the money back, effers. You can't just keep it and run. If they're looking into DIDI, then they need to look at GS and MS for underwriting. They too are 100% liable due to SEC regulations. They better resolve all this quickly or looking at litigation for a effing decade. clowns.
Well, I'll tell you what, as far as we've said this on the show before. Number one, I think you called this a stay away before on it when we did this stock last time. Also, I believe we also talked about, it was brought up on one show that when the CCP goes to prosecute, when they go to prosecute other people in the country to go get damages, if they're affiliated with the party, and they're cozy up to them.
Yeah, they practically have immunity, basically.
Yeah. If you're close to one of the top dogs in the party, you'll get 1/10% of your of anything back from what your investment is there. So I wouldn't hold my breath on anything. And this might be big talk by everybody saying things, but I don't see anything happen. One more thing here. It says Alibaba DIDI fueled 93 billion rally for Chinese stocks in the U.S. This was posted on, when did we have this post? This was on Monday, April 4th. So we won't even, that's just stale news. What's your take on this one? Are you just interesting news? It's popped, it's over manipulated, things like that. It's a complete stay away for me. So
yeah, I would say that this stock is a stay away from me with the chart that I'm seeing, and many of the free investors and whatnot, what they're actually saying about what's happening in the news and what this company is involved with right now. I'd say give this a good pass. I mean, if you want to look at like things that far off in the future, maybe this is a good long trade, but I wouldn't necessarily get into it personally. I just wouldn't.
No,
it's not a safe bet.
Any of these companies from in China, most of them are manipulated and everything. You gotta really watch what you see, especially on some of these pump and dump lists. You gotta look where the ownership is on it, because you could be playing with fire on some of these. So I'm going to be out on this one. We're going to be back in 2 and 2, and we're going to the next. See you in a few.
Okay.
Okay, guys, the next stock we have is Blue Apron Holdings Incorporated. APRN. This thing's popping all over the web, and it's popping all over Yahoo. Last tick on this one was $4.36. Going to the chart, everything was cruising along here, and then the bubble bursts around here. As you see, the downward trend, and unfortunately, we're in all stocks right now because of what we talked about at the beginning of the show. They're obviously in correction territory, isn't that right, Kage? So going into what would you say they do here? They operate in the ingredient and recipe meal kit service company, engages in homemaking, cooking accessible. The firm is involved in the demand of planning and recipe creation, recipe merchandising, marketing. The product includes meals and wine. The company was founded by Matthew Wadiak Pappas and Matthew B. Salzberg in 2012, and is headquartered in the People's Republic of New York. So going on to stock twits, because that's where the real traders are at, Kage. What do you have on the twits there?
I've got some takes. Some are bears, but I do have a couple of bulls for this stock.
Okay.
Which do you want to hear first?
Let's go for all of them, and then I'm going to go to what's it called there? I'm going to go to this news article here, and I'm going to check out what we got on the hub, dude, because you got to check out what the hub guys are saying, right?
All right, here's a take from Trader Leibniz. He says, Blue Apron Holdings, add another 16.34% midday trading on Tuesday, after the company disclosed that it plans to raise as much as $40.5 million through private placements, including landing a $500K investment from CEO Findlay. The new investments reset the balance sheet for Blue Apron. Upon closing the new debt, the Company expects to repay its existing debt, which will move debt maturities 5 years out to 2027 and lower the overall debt service obligations. The debt moves are seen giving Blue Apron a better setup to focus on executing its plans. Shares of Blue Apron are now up more than 30% for the week and moved back over the 50-day moving average of $4.41. The 200-day moving average of $6.24 is still about 32% higher than the current price. So he's got a lot of numbers that he's throwing around, and with the plans for Blue Apron and its investments, looks like.
Do you see on any of the comments as far as, because there's a guy, I don't know if he's coming in hot, but he did bring his receipts and he brought his charts. If you go on to Investors Hub, keep on that page, he claims insider buying on this, and he brought his receipts with the link with sec.gov. Do you see anything on what you're seeing on the boards about that?
Not that I can see on StockTwits on my end, not yet.
Yeah, I thought when I saw his comment, I thought he was coming in hot on this, and then he brought his receipts to insider buying. He's got a document and everything like that, and he's got a link to it. So, and it didn't go to like pookie.com or nothing like that, so it's not a virus. But we're looking at Investors Place here, and it says Blue Apron sees significant influx of cash. Investors should be paying attention. There's finally come to a good news to report. After week of an even a more difficult month, the meal kit producer has secured a significant amount of cash infusion. The combination of a new capital investment and refinance maneuvers have flashed the company $70.5 million in new capital. That's huge, especially when you're in that type of business. You need that capital running for the food business there. So I wonder what tricks they're going to come up with, but it could be something hot and good. APRN stock has been rising all the day, and the news of the company eyes new opportunities. Since the news of capital infusion broke this morning, Blue Apron has become in the green. As the writing, APRN stock is more than 29% of the day. It's up, and today's market performance has fairly turbulent, but APRN has remained in the green throughout. Why it matters? They said the good news is three elements. First, the longtime investor RJ B Partners has decided to commit $40 million and $12 per share, and Blue Apron has already received $20 million the second half of this year's second quarter. Secondly, the CEO Lynn Finley is making an investment of $500,000, $12 a share, and the third company has confirmed plans to refinance $30 million worth of debt for Alliance Global Investors. Does that do anything for you there? Does that get you a little excited about this?
Somewhat. I mean, it sounds like they're trying to cut a lot of things and also to maximize their goals, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
what else
that could be just one of the things. But here's a take from Landrew 1985, and I like it, and I like the point that he makes. He says APRN bullish. Few things are more valuable than a food company in times of food shortages, which I see his point.
Mm-hmm. Well, sorry, what was the last part of that again?
He says, few things are more valuable than a food company in times of food shortages.
Yeah, so. And that's going to be coming down the pike. That was funny when Cameo brought that up about not believing that at all. It's happening. I mean, there's another food processing plant that just got, I think, just got torched last week or on the weekend or something like that. They're just going down like crazy. Must be a coincidence, right?
Probably. How about this take from Joey 12345? He says, APRN temporarily red on this one. Immaterial news will not improve fundamentals. Should resume its long-term downtrend within a week or two. Well, I can see where he might be coming from with fundamentals for this one, but eventually it's all going to regain its losses and it's going to be on the uptrend.
Yeah,
eventually.
You also have some of the traders are saying this is a good bargain because it's oversold and undervalued. and with more lockdown rumors and things like that, which, you know, that's going to be rolled out come around October, November. People think that part's over. You got another thing coming to you. You'll got the next one will be coming down the pike, and don't worry, they'll have plans for that for sure come around October, November. So they have looks like there was a delivery meal kit provider, some relationship here with HelloFresh, maybe possibly, or something like that. Did you see anything like that?
I haven't seen anything about Fresh. I might have skimmed over it, maybe.
There was rumors about that.
They are both very, very close in what they do as far as a service goes, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Blue Apron might have been around longer than HelloFresh, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure, but
mm-hmm.
a merger with them would be a really, really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Pool resources and pool manufacturing, I think, would be a good idea for them both. But who knows? It's just one of those things where you don't exactly know what their future plans are, and if their competition is going to be joined with them or not. So
mm-hmm.
it's just one of those things where healthy competition could be a good thing, but also merging would also be a good thing too for some of these companies, which...
Yeah, it says it looks like the company's fundamentals haven't shifted since this report was issued, and the collective food prices have reached the highest point in decades and are not expected to slow down anytime soon. The United States Department of Agriculture predicts that food prices will continue to rise. Yeah, you think?
Yeah, you think?
This supports, it's like, thanks for stating the obvious there, professors. We really appreciate the news. Sometimes the news is just, this supports Citron argument that the rising grocery prices will continue to drive the demand of meal kit companies. Yeah, that's already been going already, and now it's really popping. Look at the business My Patriot Supply has been doing, but it has to go. And that's been functioning on other channels, because a lot of them they won't, because they're connected with some people, they decide that they don't want to carry them. Some experts express concern that the end of the COVID-19 pandemic would spell the end of growth for food delivery companies that boomed in the heyday thanks for food companies like Blue Apron. Yeah, I don't see that going down. People are still, they like that part, and I think they're still going in for that. So I don't think that hurts this at all. This one is a definite watch, and I would say around October, November, December again, you're probably going to see some possible good results, and you could see another spike in this one again. So I would say this is a decent watch to look at.
Yeah, I would say this is a good watch as well. It might actually be a good idea to get in now on the cheap compared to where it was in November, December. But yeah, like September, October area, you're most likely going to see this stock pop, and time flows ever onward. And just make sure that you hold to that strategy of looking at the seasons and knowing when to buy and knowing when to sell to get your optimum profit growth. Yep. So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll just have to see how this plays out, and I would say just, don't make it a dog show. Find your buy point. Also, I am going to be I might have to give you some, we're going to be sampling for the program some apples, apparently, from a company. One of the sponsors wants to give us apples, so I might be giving you some apples to try on the show. You never know. So,
well, I have to eat carefully. I don't want it to interfere with my mask and whatnot, but
yeah,
I'll give it a shot.
I don't know. Yeah,
I can do it. It's just a little bit cumbersome, but yeah.
We're going to be getting some sugar bees apples, apparently. So anyway, so I'm out of here. What about you?
Yeah, I'm out of here too. And everyone, good night now. Stay safe and know where you are and plan accordingly.
Yep. Be safe and watch your wallet. And good night now.